Today's episode of Inside Gaming Daily is brought to you by Bombas Socks. You can get 20% off at bombas.com/insidegaming.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of Inside Gaming Daily for Thursday.
Oh, it's Surveillance Thursday. So yeah, we got more news about games that are spying on you even when you sleep.
Recently, Kotaku published a big expose about Niantic, which makes Pokemon Go and Harry Potter Wizards Unite, and their data collection practices, which seem a bit intrusive to put it mildly.
But if you want to dash some salsa on it, that app was spying on your ass.
Yeah, while both games are super popular and based on beloved franchises, they also are collecting enough location data to learn more than most players might be comfortable with.
Yeah, not to mention they're also sharing that data with third parties.
Cool!
Yeah, making money. Just to be clear, right away, this isn't another, old man yells at cloud story where we try to shock you that apps are selling your data.
FaceApp is owned by Russia.
Whoa. Yeah, right. By and large, everyone knows that and they're okay with it or they just don't care. No, it's more the issue that these apps were collecting way more data than they said they were, which is a problem, especially when you make the case that these games are targeting children.
Those sweet, dumb, data-rich children.
God, they're so dumb. All right. Brian, what's the deal here? What's going on?
So yeah, everybody knows that these games track your location. It is an integral part of the whole experience. They track where you are in the real world and then they gamify it. That's what augmented reality games are all about. But Kotaku found that especially in Wizards Unite, Niantic is keeping extensive location data about you.
How dare they take advantage of my need to be a wizard?
They looked at 25,000 locations records that 10 players of Niantic games shared with them. And they found that Wizards Unite keeps 3 location records per minute of gameplay, which is about twice as much as it keeps for Pokemon Go.
Yeah, some even recorded up to 13 locations a minute. I mean, if you're on your feet and you're just walking around a public park, the rate that it pulls you while you're playing, that's not a big deal, but it gets creepier. Woo! Yeah, so we told you again, this isn't just a, oh my god, I'm selling your location data. We knew that. This is a big deal.
Because in one case of a Wizards Unite player, Niantic took a location record for nearly every hour of the day. Woo! That means that the game was collecting data and sharing it with the developer even when they weren't playing.
Yeah, this raises a whole lot of privacy concerns because these apps are basically acting as full-time tracking devices. That only happens when somebody thinks I'm cheating on them. Wouldn't that be nice? Like, I feel like that's a bit of a compliment. Not that you actually do it, but that your partner thinks you might. Because, like, I don't even have that capacity. I'd like there to just be a little bit of danger, you know?
When I came back in at 3 a.m. smelling like another woman, I was out casting spells. Come on!
I was cheating on you with another Wizards Unite player.
So yeah. But obviously everyone has to sign a user agreement to play the game, but when's the last time you actually read one of those? I mean, they make them really long and annoying anyway. And also, remember those dumb, sweet children? The poor bastards can't even read! Those stupid ass, fat, beautiful children. Rosy cheeks, keep eating chocolate.
And their big lollipops.
Yes, they're sailor suits.
I'm picturing like a 1930s Porky Pig right now.
That's what all children look like.
Except with like a little German accent, like, ooh, Expelliarmus! And then a black van with Niantic printed on the side pulls up alongside the door opens, they grab him and they shove him in.
It's got a big satellite dish on the top that's always just pointed at one kid as he runs around.
When asked what the hell was going on, Niantic responded, "Don't worry, it was all a big mistake."
Oh! Yeah, they told Kotaku that its engineers, quote, did identify a bug in the Android version of the client code that let it continue to ping our servers intermittently while the app was still open but had been backgrounded. Niantic says that they have since fixed the bug. Interestingly, Niantic did share that data with Kotaku, and then Kotaku poked through it. So if there were a conspiracy, odds are Niantic wouldn't have just offered that data up unless they were betting on Kotaku not doing their due diligence and actually looking at it.
Unless. Niantic also said that its privacy policy, quote, details the data we collect and process in order to provide location-based games to our users. And they added that users can request that Niantic delete their data.
It's the old, oh, we did a whoopsie and accidentally tracked your ass for 24 hours a day routine. We've all been there. And then we accidentally shared all that data with our business partners. Whoops, for money. Whoops!
It's your fault for using the app in the first place. Just delete it.
That's kind of where it comes in, right? It's like you give somebody a 200-page user and license agreement and just say, read that, idiot! And then it's like, well, if you don't like it, you could just delete it. You could just use no amenity of modern society.
So yeah, this is scary stuff, Brian.
It is, buddy. Yeah, it's scary. Like you're being monitored constantly. Well, guess what? Lots of apps do it, and they're not shy about sharing your data either. Last year, the New York Times had a big expose on the practice of apps tracking and sharing your location data. it found at least 75 companies receive anonymous location data from apps whose users enable location services to get stuff like local news or weather or other information.
So yeah, the extent that a lot of these apps track you is a lot more granular than you think. Now we are kind of getting to old man yells at cloud stuff. The Time reviewed a database from one company that was a sample of information gathered in 2017.
Yeah, the database on people's location and travels was accurate to within a few yards and in some cases updated more than 14,000 times a day.
God bless the Patriot Act, I guess.
And that data is sold to advertisers, retailers, and other businesses who want info into consumer behavior.
Yeah, and several of those businesses said they track up to 200 million mobile devices in the US. Just for some perspective, the USA currently has a population of 320 million people.
And that's just above ground.
Yeah.
Those businesses say they're interested in people's patterns, not their identities. And they say that the info is tied to a unique ID, not someone's name or phone number.
That is true. You don't need to have somebody's name to market to them or take their money. But it's weird, in the digital ecosystem, all of that data is more valuable than a name. Also, it's pretty easy to get your name anyway if you have access to the raw data, because you'd still be able to figure out their home address based off their geolocation data. So that's the issue more of like the data leaks, and then somebody can figure out where you live if you're, I don't know, a C-tier internet celebrity? Maybe?
No, like Lawrence Sontag,
Thank you.
quintessential gamer.
That's right. Thank you for hitting the branding. The separation between name and data, it's a line that a lot of companies walk to try to be legal about the way they do it, but it's pretty vestigial at this point.
And so obviously that's a similar concern with games like Pokemon Go and Wizards Unite.
But does Niantic share your info?
Yes.
Oh, so yeah, Niantic told Kotaku that it doesn't share, quote, individual player data with third-party sponsored location partners. Instead, it just shares anonymized, aggregated stats, like how many people went to an in-game location or how many Pokestop spins it had in a day. However, you can also connect that with other demographic information you have and have a very clear picture about the kind of audience that you're dealing with.
And that might sound reassuring. It also may not. It's shown that companies can still use location information to identify you.
Again, a company has very little interest in who you are, just the money that you have and how they can manipulate you to getting it out of you. So the New York Times last year found that people with access to the raw data can still identify an individual without their consent, just by following an anonymous dot and then using public records to figure out who lives there.
This is the second time in just a few months that we've had a big story about privacy concerns in gaming.
Something happened back in August, right, Brian?
Yeah, that's when Motherboard reported that contractors who worked for Microsoft said that they've listened to lots of audio of people's conversations in their homes through their Xboxes, and that some people were actually recorded by mistake.
So yeah, the contractors at Microsoft said that they were using the audio to improve the Xbox's voice commands. They were basically checking to see if there were any false positives and tuning the system by feeding it data, big data. But it sounds like a lot more was captured than people signed up for, because yes, that's what happens when you put a microphone in your living room.
At first, the contractors were listening through Connect, but later that switched to Cortana, as the digital assistant was added to the Xbox in 2016. I trusted her.
Yeah, even scarier, one former contractor said that many of the voices they heard were of children. Yes, those dumb idiot kids are back. Those sweet, stupid, dumb kids.
Cortana, fetch me a nougat.
Cortana, I'm hungry.
Oh, Cortana, please make me a roast bird. I don't know what this is. Oh.
Oh, he's got band-aids on his knees.
Please, one more Cornish game hen.
Rubbing Cortana with his oily fingers.
This is like a kid that got trapped in a house during an earthquake with only Cortana and like a treasure trove of candy.
So yeah, Microsoft told Motherboard it was frequently the same games, same DLCs, same types of commands. Xbox, give me all the games for free. Or Xbox, download, newest Minecraft skins pack or whatever. So yeah, those dumb idiot kids think they can just get whatever they want out of their digital mother.
It's also not hard to imagine that a fair amount of kids, maybe these same kids, could be playing games like Pokemon Go and Harry Potter Wizards Unite. Those are two brands that are wildly popular with children, although Harry Potter is an extremely, adult sort of series.
Yeah, I've read a lot of short stories.
They're very
fanfics,
highbrow.
if you will.
Snape And like with Microsoft, Niantic could be violating a federal law called COPPA, the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act. It's designed to protect the privacy of children on the internet.
Smearing chocolate all over their phones. So, according to the US government, any online service that targets users under 13 years old needs to display a privacy policy that's easy to read and understand. Again, those dumb idiot kids. It has to state what information is being collected and what the company might do with it, along with directions on how parents can give their consent.
And lots of companies have been accused of violating COPPA over the years. A federal lawsuit filed in 2017 alleged that a bunch of Disney apps collected the personal information of children and shared it with advertisers without parental consent.
Ooh, yep. You gotta watch what your kids are doing out there. They're writing all their weird Harry Potter fics and stuff. You gotta keep an eye on that. So let's see if this becomes a legal issue for Niantic in the future. But all these issues should make you think maybe twice, just 2 times, when you download one of these games because, yeah, these companies have very little motivation to care about you. They just want to siphon you for all that sweet, sweet data.
Yeah, because while you're getting a game for free, a lot of companies are getting a lot of information about you.
That's right. And all those darling ass kids running around,
Using the internet.
tripping and falling.
Okay, Google!
Today's episode of Inside Gaming Daily is brought to you by Bombas Socks because we have to protect those stupid kids. Lord knows they don't have the dexterity to run around properly. They need good cushioning on their shoes to protect them. That's what Bombas Socks can offer. And like our poor idiot kid who's trapped in a house that got collapsed during an earthquake, every time you buy a pair of Bombas Socks, Bombas will then donate a pair of socks to someone in need, like that chubby little child who just wants another Cornish game hen. Bombas are designed with special comfort innovations, colors, patterns, lengths, and styles. And I'm wearing them right now. Bang, look at that. Look at how comfy this sock looks. Do you see this? Do you see how nice my foot is? Oh, it's like it's in a sauna right now, but not in a sweaty way, in a nice, comfortable, breathable, airy way. I love it so much. So yeah, they're made from super soft, natural cotton. Every pair is designed with arch support, a seamless toe, and a cushioned footbed that's supported but not too thick. Because don't you hate it when you put on a sock and like the seam like rolls around your tiny toe at the end and you're like, nah, damn it. You have to take your shoe all the way off and kind of readjust it. Thing of the past. Treat yourself right, treat your tiny toe right, and poor Gunter stuck in that building. He needs a pair of socks, so help him out. You can get 20% off your first purchase when you go to bombas.com/insidegaming. Once more, that's 20% off at bombas.com/insidegaming. Do something right for your feet and for that poor starving German child stuck in that building. Thank you, Bombas, for the sponsorship, and thank you for supporting our sponsors.
So Mario Kart Tour, the mobile version of Mario Kart, is out today, but guess what? It's already got some problems.
Yeah, for starters, the early birds who logged on this morning to play were greeted with a maintenance screen. Great way to kick off the game.
Okay, but then after all that annoying wait, it was time to go to the races. That sounds like a Velociraptor.
The game starts off by giving you a brief tutorial on how to use